Some more big clarifications just came out regarding the Bloodline, so we're going to see what all that's about. We're also going to check out what is up with Bayley, with Roman Reigns, and more. Starting things off with the new reports for the Bloodline and what's going on with them. You know, ever since the start of this whole six-man tag program for Summerslam involving the Bloodline, the biggest mystery of the whole story was trying to figure out who are the real villains here, because the storytelling that was in place didn't really do a good job of establishing who was the heels, right? So it just kind of left everybody's head spinning here, just trying to figure out who's who. Well, according to a new report that's making waves, there appears to finally be a solid answer to that question. Reports are now officially claiming Jimmy, Jay, and Jacob as the heels for this six-man tag program, with LA Knight, Solo Sikoa, and Royce Keys being the babyfaces. So it's nice to finally have that question technically answered, but it still feels like the story so far hasn't really done a great job of showing us that Jimmy, Jay, and Jacob are the heels here. Jimmy and Jay are still doing their usual entrance with the crowds. They're running back the theme song, and they're doing that whole encore act, so that's what makes this whole program a little bit confusing. If Jimmy, Jay, and Jacob are supposed to be the heels here, like the new reports suggest, why are they still catering to the crowds and not acting even more heelish? If it was very clear that the Bloodline were the heels here, well, then maybe they really would have improved the flow of the story. But we really haven't seen the Bloodline do anything that horrific, really, in recent weeks, so it's kind of a bit challenging to view them as the heels here right now. But again, maybe that's a moment that's still coming up. You know, maybe the big moment of truly showcasing the Bloodline as the heels, maybe that's coming at SummerSlam itself. Maybe something happens there either during the match or during the post-match that's going to finally put this conversation to rest and finally establish Jimmy, Jay, and Jacob as clear-cut heels. So maybe that could also explain why their characters have been all over the place in recent weeks. It's possible that they're just intentionally saving that big official heel turning moment for those three for SummerSlam itself. You know, what also adds confusion to this whole Bloodline's reported status of being heels is their connection to Roman Reigns. You know, if the Bloodline are supposed to be heels right now, what exactly does that make Roman Reigns, who is, of course, the head of the family? Is Roman now supposed to be a heel? Is Roman an anti-hero? This is also a big debate amongst the fans as well. Some fans saying that Roman Reigns technically never fully turned babyface after WrestleMania 40. He returned in 2024 for revenge on Solo Sikoa for going rogue. He apologized to the original Bloodline members for how he acted in years past, but that's all he really did. So you got a lot of fans out there arguing that Roman Reigns is still the same character that he's always been ever since the beginning of the Tribal Chief era. He never fully shifted his ways into being a babyface. He just said a few apologies, and he's still the same person that he's always been over the last 6 years. And this is something that even came up during some of Roman and Seth's recent conversations. Seth flat out said a few times there that Roman hasn't changed at all and how he is still the same exact selfish person that he's always been. So the fact that Roman's character and personality were brought up during this current feud with Seth Rollins, that's interesting as well. Now, is that just a simple throwaway line right there by Seth Rollins, or is there a deeper reasoning and purpose as to why they brought that up right there? Is that a clue that Roman's ambiguous character status is going to be addressed also at SummerSlam? Could there be this big moment at SummerSlam that's going to show us if Roman Reigns has actually changed or not? There's been a lot of emphasis on Roman Reigns wanting to defeat Seth Rollins on his own without any outside help from his family members. I mean, that's something that Roman's been repeatedly saying throughout this feud here with Seth Rollins. So, telling by how much they keep bringing that topic up and teasing it, it sure does seem like we could see some type of moment at SummerSlam where the Bloodline maybe does come out to help Roman against Seth, and that's when Roman's going to be faced with a huge decision. You know, either accept the help from the Bloodline in order to retain the world title against Seth Rollins, or turn down their help and try to defeat Seth Rollins on his own. Roman's made it very clear in recent weeks that he is very well aware about how much he needs to defeat Seth on his own, and that's what he's planning on doing, on paper anyway. That would be the honorable way of handling this matchup against Seth Rollins. But, in the heat of the moment, if Roman does accept the Bloodline's help against Seth Rollins, that only proves Seth's point and a lot of the fans' point that Roman truly never changed. So something's got to give here, for sure. You got these reports claiming that the Bloodline are heels, but at the same time, their leader, Roman Reigns, is some sort of babyface anti-hero. So they all got to get on the same page soon, right? And maybe Summerslam is the event that's going to make things much more clear there for the Bloodline. We'll see. The Bayley contract conversation is continuing, with everybody really overanalyzing some remarks that Bayley made during her recently released vlog from Saturday night's main event. During that vlog, Bayley had this to say, which once again had everyone talking. Quote, "The time and the stage I am in my career right now, I feel like I'm taking a further look back at everything, and I'm seeing it from a different view and knowing my place in this business and knowing my worth in this business." End quote. So, Bayley's being more reflective about her past and what she's been through in her career. She has this whole new view and perspective on what she's accomplished, and a lot of talk there about how she's trying to know her worth and her placement in the industry. And whew, that quote created a lot of buzz because the big narrative surrounding Bayley's entire overall run on the WWE main roster is that although she's had a lot of success and all the talent in the back love her, it just never really felt like she was truly appreciated by the company themselves. Just never felt like WWE as a company gave Bayley the flowers and acknowledgement that she deserves. That's always been the conversation and narrative there between Bayley and WWE. And there's a lot of recent examples of this, by the way, such as the WrestleMania 42 women's trailer. WWE had a special WrestleMania trailer just for the women this year that featured Charlotte Flair, Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan, Becky Lynch, Tiffany Stratton, Jade Cargill, and more. But missing from this commercial shoot was Bayley. Just a big example right there of how Bayley constantly gets forgotten about and softly disrespected by the company. Same thing with her 2024 run as women's champion. Even as the reigning women's champion, Bayley still wasn't featured on any promotional material. The company would pass up on featuring Bayley on commercials and other material like that, and they would use other women on the graphics instead. Just all subtle things like that have been happening constantly over the last few years that have really made everybody sit back and ask themselves, okay, does WWE truly appreciate Bayley? Do they properly give her the flowers that she's earned? That's been a big topic of conversation for years now, and well, we're seeing that conversation really ramp up right now in the present day since Bayley's contract's coming up soon. And now you've got Bayley throwing some subtle hints out here with this new vlog that she knows what she's worth, she knows where she belongs in this industry, and maybe she truly does want to be in a place that's actually going to respect her and appreciate her. Now, Bayley did return recently during some of the live events that have been happening this week, but she continues to be missing in action from WWE television. Bayley's WWE status just continues to be a really big mystery at this exact moment in time. But I will say that things should start becoming more clear about her decision once we actually get closer to the end of the calendar year. We'll see. But anyway, what are your thoughts on today's stories? Leave your comments down below. Don't forget to subscribe with all notifications on, and make sure to leave a like if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, guys.